Hi, I'm Melissa Dusenberry of All the Brilliance. Today we're going to talk about cabochon. What is cabochon? Cabochon is a way of cutting a gemstone. Actually, it's more about shaping and polishing. It's one of the oldest ways we cut gemstones, and it wasn't until about the late 13th century that we started to facet gemstones. I'm here with Katherine Parr, who creates incredibly beautiful jewelry using cabochon cut stones. Hi Katherine, thank you so much for joining our chat today.
Oh, thank you, Melissa. I'm happy to be here with All the Brilliance. I use a lot of cabochon stones. Why? I do fine jewelry. That's more faceted with the diamonds, rubies, and emeralds. But I focus a lot on semi-precious stones because I feel it gives a meaningful element to the jewelry. And for that, I use a lot of cabochons. These are from my personal collection. This is a moonstone, a circular cut, and a teardrop cut. This triangle cut is an opal. Opal is a softer stone. That's what cabochons are used for, mostly as softer stones and also more opaque stones. Cabochon shows the play of color, and that really exemplifies something that a faceted cut would not do.
And also what's similar to when people cut faceted stones, they really do study the stone and say, well, how can we best create the most beautiful, light reflective experience of the stone? And I think that's really what also is done with cabochon cut.
It shows a lot of the inclusions as well. For example, this piece right here is from Afghanistan, from my last collection with Turquoise Mountain, and it has some really beautiful gold and white inclusions of pyrite and calcite in the blue. And I think that's pretty neat. That is something that wouldn't be shown if it was a faceted cut. So cabochons really have their place not only in traditional and history elements, but actually in a certain style that exemplifies the beauty of the stone.
Katherine, can you share with me a little bit more about these cabochon cut stones in some of your work?
Oh, sure. I work with Turquoise Mountain, which is a global partner of mine, based in the UK, and we work in Afghanistan, which is one of the top providers of natural resources of semi-precious stones. Turquoise Mountain and I work together. I design for their artisans who have attended the Turquoise Mountain Institute in Kabul, and they are working to regenerate the old city of Kabul and also empower, train, and give jobs and livelihood to a lot of the artisans there who had not had that before.
Katherine, what I really love about your jewelry is the variety of color in these stones, which I believe are locally sourced from within the community.
They are. I found Afghanistan to be a place that has a variety of stones in all sorts of colors, shapes, sizes. I also like to know that I'm not getting a stone that was from child labor or war practices. The artisans that I'm working with are ethical, sustainable, and they're doing really good work. So we know exactly that they have fair labor practices, that they have safe working conditions, and that they really are proud and enjoy their work to be sourced from Afghanistan.
While your jewelry can of course be handcrafted with precious stones, I think there's something very special about these semi-precious stones, and that they actually are precious because they are doing good in the world. Especially with lapis lazuli, it is a beautiful stone first and foremost, but also it can come in such a variety of color.
Lapis lazuli comes in a variety of depths, and I find the kind that has a little bit more inclusion is a little bit more deep, is a little more meaningful. It has a little bit of more sensibility about it than just a pure cobalt blue that might be seen at a higher price point. I find the one that has more depth to be more valuable, and that's just how I see the difference between precious and semi-precious with my heart and how I feel and what materials I choose and what artisans I choose to work with.
And that's another thing I love about this particular piece here, because it really does speak to this idea that jewelry can be a reflection of what is of meaning and of value to you. So I know that these cabochon cut stones are set in sort of a traditional cultural design, and I would love to learn a little bit more about that.
Oh, sure. I mobilize not only local stones, local labor, in an ethical way with Turquoise Mountain in this collection I call the Unity and Diversity Collection, but I use the cabochon cut with Persian symbols. So Afghanistan is in what used to be the Persian Empire, and one of their top symbols, besides, say, the wheat sheaf or the lion, is the Persian sun. And I feel this is just a really beautiful way to mobilize the cabochon stone within kind of a statement necklace, a little bit of a choker here with the lapis that's so famous from Afghanistan, And it's a black tourmaline cabochon, or something that's a simple pendant that can go in a variety of lengths for versatility, which I think is important in jewelry.
Thank you so very much for sharing your cabochon stories and certainly learning a lot more about Turquoise Mountain and sustainability. Thank you so very much for our chat.
Thank you, Melissa.